And what is most exciting about 2023 is that I believe that this is going to be the year of implementation and execution. Implementation and execution. Who's ready for implementation and execution, right? So I commit, okay? I don't make resolutions. I don't make resolutions. I make decisions. I make decisions every single year about what it is that I'm going to focus on in my personal life, in my um, with my family as it relates to me, right? And that includes my business. That includes my business, and that includes you. That includes you. And so over this past several weeks, I have really been thinking about what will 2023 mean? And this year, I want to focus on execution. I want to focus on execution. All right. And I want to share with you all how I execute and implement raising money. Okay. No more talking about it. You guys who have been following me, you guys who have been, a part of this community for so long, you've heard me talk about facts, you've heard me talk about different things. But this year, I want to share with you guys how I execute and implement. All right. Many of you all who are new to me, I am a nonprofit. I'm a professional fundraiser. I have raised hundreds of millions of dollars for nonprofit organizations, nationally and internationally. Okay. I have worked with some of the largest organizations in the country and helped organizations that are just starting out nationally and internationally to set their plans and processes in place so that they can implement and execute their programs. Now, it's important for me that you all understand and know how, say know how, not just know how to do it one time, but keep doing it. Come on now, keep doing it. And what is the it? That is raising the money that is needed so that your organizations can operate and execute your vision and your purpose. Okay. Who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? Who wants to really be able to execute what is needed and what it takes to raise enough money to implement your program? Okay. Now, over the years, I have really worked one-on-one with organizations, and they have really done the thing, right? They've done and they've implemented and they've executed what I've shared with them to do. And now I want to do it more broadly. Okay, I want to do it more broadly. So this week, the word for the week is retention, hashtag retention, hashtag retention, hashtag retention. We're going to implement and execute on retention. All right. So retention is where you all are able to maintain, sustain, keep those individuals who supported you, could have supported you, and did support you in 2022 coming into 2023. Now, let me say this. I am doing a free workshop on the 11th, all right, on the 11th. And on the 11th of January, it's going to be at 7:00 p.m. Pacific. I am going to be talking in depth about this process, okay, the process that I used when I was raising hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. I worked for the American Red Cross. I was the executive director of the American Red Cross. So for those of you who are the executive director, I get it, right? Wearing all the hats, right? wearing all the hats and having to manage program, manage team, manage board, manage community, write grants, fundraise, all the things, right? What's all the things? All the things, okay? And how did I do it? How did I do it successfully? How did I do it and meet our financial goals? Because at the end of the day, in order to keep staff, in order to maintain building, in order to, do all the things that are required for the program, we had to make money, right? So I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I did when I was the executive director at the American Red Cross. Not only that, I was also the vice president at the Los Angeles Mission. The Los Angeles Mission, where me and my organization, my department, I had a department of 14, where our job was to raise close to $7 million every year. All right. So I managed the department. And that is what our goal was every single year, $7 million. Okay. And it went up, I think, to as much as 12. So we're going to learn the process. Okay. Now, it starts with understanding retention. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys my process. And my process began this way. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the things that I did in my process. Now, I want you to imagine. Okay, these organizations are not mine. I'm going to say that one more time. These organizations are not mine. For many of you, you all are founders of your organization. You started your organization. If you started your organization, say, Jen, I'm a founder. I started my organization. I'm the only CEO to date of my organization. Okay. And that's important. That's very important. But I want to say to you that when I was working for the American Red Cross, when I was the vice president at the Los Angeles Mission, when I worked for the Black AIDS Institute, okay, when I went to work for West Care and I'm raising money and working in executive levels of organizations, they weren't mine, okay? But what was mine was the process that I used to generate revenue for these organizations, okay? So I'm going to be sharing with you the process that worked in all of these organizations to generate money, okay? Those of you who are founders of your organization, the process is going to work for you too, guarantee, all right? So the organizations that I work with, if they follow my process, they will raise money. I'm going to tell you one more thing about me. And I rarely talk about my background. You guys know who follow me. I rarely talk about my background. I rarely talk about where I came from and how did I become known as the nonprofit expert. I rarely talk about it. And I don't really know why. I think it's just because it's not about me. It's really all about you all. But I think this is important as we start 2023, that you guys know that my process works. It does not fail. It works in any and every organization. So one of my 9-to-5 jobs was to help close to 1,000 organizations every single year raise money. That was my job. My job was to go into every organization. I can go into the organization. I can attest, if you listen to Jen and her expertise, your organization will be successful. Thank you so much, Nicola. You are amazing. Thank you so much for saying that. One of my jobs, y'all, was to go into organizations, and I had literally 3 days to assess their problem and to create a process that would work for them to raise money. And I was working with organizations in Puerto Rico. I was working with organizations in Haiti. I was working with organizations at Hot Coffee, Mississippi. Have y'all ever heard of Hot Coffee, Mississippi? It's a real place, and I have a t-shirt. That's the first place I had fried pickles. I had fried pickles and fried green tomatoes in Hot Coffee, Mississippi. This organization's town had 2 stop signs, a little convenience store. It was small. It was this very small town. All that to say that my job was to go in and to create a process that each of these organizations in different demographics, in different parts of the country, with different program and organizational capacity. There was several organizations that were run by volunteers. Many of you guys are like that, right? I'm a volunteer, I don't get paid, I'm just doing my program and I'm paying for everything out of my pocket. Is that you, right? I had to help them raise money. I worked on the Indian reservations also in the Dakotas. I had to go to the Dakotas to an Indian reservation and work with those organizations out there. There were about 7 organizations on that Indian reservation to help them create process of fundraising and revenue generating on the Indian reservation, right? I went to my very first powwow. It was amazing. It was amazing. Anyway, come back. All right. So all that to say that I have shared my process over the years with thousands of organizations. And one of the things that my team and I were talking about over the last probably 4 or 5 months was process, right? That the organizations that are able to work with me, they get support in the process. But I decided this year in 2023, I want to share the process with you guys even the more. All right. So my trainings are going to be different. My sessions are going to be different because I want to talk about not just the what to do, but I want to share with you my process. Who's interested in my process? Who's interested in my process? Okay. Let me talk about the process of retention, which is key to raising money for your organization. All right. So this is what I would do. Again, remembering that the organizations that I worked for, the organizations that I led, the organizations that I raised money for were not mine. They were not mine, right? I didn't start the Red Cross. I didn't start the Los Angeles Mission. I didn't start the Black AIDS Institute, right? But these were entities and organizations where I had to walk in, I had to learn the culture, I had to learn the program, I had to understand the ask, right, the impact, and then I had to make a process of, or implement my process of raising the money. And where did I start? I started with retention, #retention. That in every single organization, in order for me to get to know where the money was coming from, and in order for me to understand how to at least maintain where they were as an organization financially, I had to retain in order to raise more money, for any organization. The key is retention. I had to retain what was already there and then add to it. That's how you raise more money, right? You raise more money by retaining what's there and then adding to it. Am I making sense? If you're with me, Jen, say, got it, Jen, retention. All right. So as we go into 2023, I want to really talk about executing around retention. So the first thing that I would do is I would understand who gave in 2022. And this is what you guys can do right now. Number one, who gave in 2022? Who gave in 2022? You with me, Chanel? Who gave in 2022? All right. Who gave in 2021? Who gave in 2021? That's the assessment that I would do. Okay, that's my process. I want to know who gave in 2021 and in 2022. Because in order for me to raise more money, I got to retain them. If I lose them, I got to have the money to replace what they gave. Am I making sense? If I lose, or if those individuals don't give again in 2023, I've got to replace that money of those that gave in 2021, who gave in 2022. I need them to give again in 2023. So that way I don't have to go out and find someone else to replace those dollars. Am I explaining this well? You guys know I go in, I go deep, and I don't want this to be a long video, but I just want to make it clear, all right, about the process, okay? The process of thinking, retention. Retention is the key to fundraising, raising more money, okay? Raising more money. More money means I can retain what I have. Raising on top of that is the more money, okay? The going out and chasing new donors without the focus of retaining your current donors is a big mistake. Am I making sense? Okay. So in every organization that I went in, that was how we started, was we got to retain. We got to retain those donors. How did I learn about retention? What was it that I looked for from these donors? I had to know why these donors gave. That's number 2. All right. That's number 2. Why did they give? Why are they connected to this organization? What is it about this organization that interests them? Now, how did I do that? Phone call. Made a phone call. That's it. Made a phone call. Okay. I segmented out the list. And I said, all those that gave $5,000, all those that gave $1,000, all those that gave $500, all those that gave $100, all those that give $20. I segmented them out, okay? And I wanted to speak to them in a group specifically about why they were giving at that level. What was it about the organization that interests them? Why is that important? That's important because I knew that if I understood what it was about the program and the organization that interested them, that was of interest to them, that I could talk to them about what interests them. Remember what I always say, that donors give because of what's important to them. Remember I've said that all the time. I say that all the time. You guys have heard me say it, right? I always say donors give because of what's important to them, right? You guys have heard me say that. Who's heard me say that? Say, I've heard you say that, Jen. You guys have heard me say a lot of things, okay? But I'm going to share with you now how I implement these things in the process, okay? Donors give because of what's important to them. So what would I do in my process? What I would do is I would segment the list, because, honey, I could not go through 1,000 or even 1,000,000 donors. So I segmented them, and I would take 5 a week. All right. Now I had a team, but aside from that, do what's manageable to you. Start with the ones that have given consistently. Start with those. Okay. You don't have to go through all of them. We're going to make this implementation easy and manageable. Okay. And you guys are going to do it. All right. Donors give because of what's important to them. And so that's where I started. I would start with, hello, my name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I'm the new executive director, or I'm the new director of development for this organization, or I'm the vice president of this organization. You're going to be hearing from me around in newsletters and in different letter forms. And I just wanted to call and introduce myself. I just wanted you all to know that I am here to answer your questions, to give you information about the program and the impact the organization is having. And I just wanted to call and say hello. And I wanted to say thank you for being such a loyal and faithful contributor to the organization. Because of you and with you, our organization is able to do some amazing things, and we could not do that without your support. So If you have any questions about the organization, if you have any questions about how your gifts are being receipted and used, please feel free to give me a call. Now, I would say that either to them directly or I would leave that message. Y'all wouldn't be offended by hearing that message, would you? You wouldn't be offended by having someone call you from the organization to say, let me just introduce myself to you, right? I'm not asking for anything. I'm just calling to say, you're going to get a letter and it's going to have my name on the bottom of it. And I want you to know who it is that's sending the letter, right? That way, when they get this mail, they're not thinking, who is this person and why are they writing me? Are you catching what I'm putting down? Are you catching what I'm putting down? This is exactly what I did in every organization. Okay, anyway. So I wanted to find out why they were giving, okay? These people would either call back or I may have had to make another phone call, but I needed to know why were they giving? How were they introduced to the organization? Were they introduced through event? Were they introduced to the organization through a volunteer experience? Were they introduced to the organization because of a board member? Whatever. I would use that too. You came to the organization because you attended this event, or so-and-so who was a board member, introduced you to the organization, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that connection is, I would use that. Have you guys ever heard me talk about the 3 C's? The 3 C's, the 3 C's: connection, concern, capacity, connection, concern, capacity. The 3 C's is a part of the key process of retention, the connection, okay? The connection, concern, capacity, all a part of the process of retention, okay? Why are they connected? What is it that they're concerned about? Okay. And then the capacity is what they give. Retention, understanding what is it that your donors are concerned about? What's the connection? What's the connection to the organization is key to retention. The 3 C's, you guys have heard me talk about the 3 C's, okay? If you've not heard me talk about the 3 C's, say, Jen, where's the 3C video? If you guys put in the search 3 C's, you guys will hear me go ad nauseum about the 3 C's. But 3 C's is key to retention, okay? So you've got to identify those donors, understand what is the connection and the concern. That's a part of my process. That's a part of my process of raising money. That is a part of my process of keeping my donors connected and increasing the financial picture for any and every organization. It does not fail, all right? This process does not fail, okay? If you guys do this, it does not fail. Now, if you all would like to show me to help you, I'm going to be giving a free, did I say free? Free, it's free. It's going to be a free workshop where I'm going to be talking about the process in depth, okay? Really in depth on that, on January 11th. January 11th, okay? It's going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, okay? And I'm going to be giving examples. I'm going to be sharing with you forms that I use when I do these things in the process, right? But what comes first is identifying who is it that gave in 2021 and 2022. That's first. Second is understanding, segmenting those people out, right? Segment them out by groups. Start with the ones who gave 5,000 or more, 1,500, segment them out, okay? And then begin to find out how and why are they connected to the organization, okay? Because people give because of what's important to them. Find out what about your program is important to them. You guys have heard me talk about Mrs. Cohen and her grandson, Barron, when I was the vice president at the Los Angeles Mission. And you all have heard me talk about how Mrs. Cohen gave to the organization because she was interested in bed nights, okay? She was interested in bed nights. Her grandson was interested in meals. Okay. I've talked about this 1,000 times. If you guys have missed that conversation, it's probably in about 100,000 of the videos that are in this group. Okay. But I'm saying that is the retention key. Why? Because she was connected because of her interest in bed nights. So what does that mean? That means I would talk to, in my process, I would only communicate with Mrs. Cohen about bed nights because that's what she was interested in. I would communicate to her grandson about meals. Why? Because that's what he was interested in. So the key to retention is understanding what it is that your donors are interested in. What's their connection to your organization? I know that it sometimes is very tempting to send out one message to everybody, but we're missing the power of the 3 C's. That donors continue to give to organizations that they are connected with, their concerns are met. People give because of what is of interest to them. They're concerned. They're concerned about your cause. Why are they concerned about your cause? In what way are they concerned about your cause? Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, Jen, how do I know that? It's a conversation. Why would we not want to converse with those that we want to retain? I'm going to say that again. Why would we not want to converse with those that we want to retain? These are people who are making decisions to give to our organizations over and over and over again. They want to know. They want to talk to us. They really do. They really do. They really are interested. Anyway, I'm going to go into that more on the 11th, okay? I'm going to go into more about how do you initiate these conversations? How do you get them to answer the phone? How do you get them to answer and respond to the email, right? I just did an article about how to get your donors to open your emails. I just did a whole article on that. It's going to be published here in just a little bit, but I want to share with you guys retention. And I want to share with you how do you retain your donors, all right? That is really knowing what it is that they are connected to in your organization. That's going to help you retain donors. Retaining your donors, keeping your donors, okay? Securing their connection to the organization through their financial efforts, through their interest in what you're doing, is going to help you raise more money. All right. Does this make sense what I'm saying? Are you guys following me? Is there any question about what I've just said? Okay. I want to be able to make this so simple, okay, that you all too can implement in 2023. All right. Implement in 2023. It makes sense? Makes sense? Okay. So I'm gonna stop here, but I'm gonna say this. When I come back, what's today? Today's Monday. I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm gonna come back probably tomorrow. And I want you guys to say, Jen, I got my list. Jen, I've segmented, right? Segmenting means I put in clumps or bunches my donors, or Jen, I've gotten the people who gave in 2021 and 2022. What do I do next? Okay. This whole year, 2023, is going to be about me sharing my process. Okay. And if you guys are interested in the process, follow me. All right. Follow me. When I come on, all I'm talking about is implementation. All I'm talking about is how to do it. All right. How I did it. I'm going to be sharing with you how I did it. Okay. How I raised hundreds of millions of dollars for organizations that weren't mine. I didn't start them. I had to go into each and every one of these organizations, and I had to learn what is the language, what is their program, what is it that they do, how do they do it, And then I had to get to know all of their donors. They were all different organizations. One was an AIDS organization. One was an emergency services organization. One was an organization that dealt with homeless. I did work with organizations that dealt with women who were coming off the street as prostitutes, right? Who were sex workers. I had worked with organizations where there were Westcare. Westcare was an amazing organization where they were working with women who were in jail and were having babies in jail and working through a program to reconnect them with their young children, to inspire them to not reoffend. I work with organizations that dealt with trees, planting trees in communities. So I don't think there's not anything that I've not raised money for. There's probably not a program that I've not raised money for. Okay, I've worked with organizations that are faith-based organizations. I work with hospitals. I work with educational institutions. There is not a cause I've not raised money for. All right. So my process works in all of these organizations, yours included. Yours included. It works 100%, guarantee, guarantee. All right. And it is a process that I learned over my 35 years of working with organizations. The organizations that do and follow my process raise money. All right. So this year, I'm going to be sharing process. All right. Implementation. If those of you who are tired of thinking about it and want to implement it, I'm here for it. Who's here for it? Who's here for it? 2023, y'all, is the year of implementation. Let me tell you that no matter what is happening in the world, the need for organizations such as yours only increases. It does not decrease. The need for organizations such as yours only increases, does not decrease. All right. Our programs, your programs are in place to meet a need in the community that government cannot meet, that businesses cannot meet. That's the power of our type of business. And it is a model that you all can raise enough money to fully fund your program and your operations, okay? And in this year, I'm gonna be sharing with you my process. Who's interested in my process? Who's interested in my process? And listen, I'm gonna give it to you. It's gonna be your process, okay? I want you to have the process. I want you guys to understand how it works. I want you guys to be able to implement, okay? I want you guys to be able to implement the process so that it works for you. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this. On January 11th, I am going to be sharing with you guys a way for those of you guys who want me as a part of your process or access to me in that way. No problem. You can or you can't. You don't have to. But I want to be able to help those of you guys in this process as well. I'm going to give you the process. I'm going to give you the process, okay? But if you guys want access to Jen and my team to help with that, I really am excited. I'm excited. I'm going to give you the process. Did you hear what I said? I'm going to give you the process on January 11th, okay? That's going to be free. That's going to be free. I'm going to give you the process. I'm going to give you the whole process, okay, on January 11th. But I got some things really exciting, and I can't wait to share with you guys on the 11th, all right? I cannot wait to share with you guys on the 11th. All right, so implementation 2023. The first thing is know who gave in 2021, know who gave in 2022. Now, those of you who may say, well, Jen, I didn't have any donors in 2021. I didn't have any donors in 2022. What do I do? What do I do if I did not have any donors? Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to begin to craft some compelling reasons that your organization is important. I want you to talk about what's at stake. What's at stake if my organization does not exist? I want you to talk about, get 3 compelling stats about what your program and your organization is going to address. All right. This is what you begin to share pronto. All right. People give because of impact, not activity. People give because of impact, not activity. So for those of you who did not have donors in 2021 or 2022, but you want donors in 2023, you got to start sharing impact. Okay. Not activity. What's impact? Impact is, what is the change that your organization is going to bring about? Why is this change so important right now in the community that you're serving? All right, begin to make that visible. The people that are going to be giving to your organization are not in your program. All right. So these are people that you've got to get their attention for. That's the process of getting new donors, is sharing your impact. That's the process. Okay. The process of getting new donors, getting people to be compelled and interested in giving to your organization, is sharing impact. How do you implement that? You share that through stories, you share that through testimonials, you share that through sharing stats about what's happening and what you're solving. Okay. You do that by talking about why this is important right now. That's how you do it. Implement it every day. Come on now, say every day. If you want to raise more money, that means you got to get in front of new people, retain the people that you've been in front of, get in front of new people, right? I retain the ones that I got and I get new, add on top of, that's the more money. That's the more. The more is keeping what I have and adding, okay? So to get some, it all starts with sharing impact. How do I do that, Jen? Okay, so you implement that by going live. You implement that by sharing videos, by sharing articles, by sharing stories, all of the above. All right, and you become consistent at it. Use your hashtags. That's how you get started. Okay, and again, I'm going to be going into much more detail on January 11th. All right, all hearts and minds are clear. Y'all, this is about to be the best year ever. This is about to be the best year ever. I am so serious. I am so excited. Who else is excited? I am excited, y'all. I'm excited about 2023. And I'm excited about sharing my process. Everything within my company has changed. We are really here for implementation and sharing the process. And again, I'm going to give you the process. I'm going to give it to you. Okay. And on January 11th, I want you guys to be in the room because I'm going to share with you guys so much more of how that process works. Step 1, do this first, then do this second, do this third. And I'm going to answer all of your questions so that you guys can begin to implement this process. All right, implement this winning process. Implement this process that's going to make it easy for you. Implement this process that's going to work. All right, if you guys have heard and seen any of the testimonials, the people who do what I share with them to do, it works. It works, okay? And I want my process to work for you. I've shared it with thousands. I've shared it with thousands, and I'm excited to share with you. All right. Hearts and minds are clear and full of excitement. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to put the link to register. It's free. I'm going to put the link to register in the comments. Okay. In the comments. I think I can pin it in the comments, and then you guys can register. It's on January 11th. It's a Wednesday. It's going to be at 7:00 p.m. Pacific. Okay. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But before then, I want you guys to do your homework, find out who gave 2021, 2022, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and share with you guys what to do with that information next. Okay. On the 11th, I'm going to really be able to go into more detail and give with you guys some real examples, and again, answer your questions and all that good stuff. But let's make this happen, Captain. Let's make this happen. All right. That's it, you guys. Have an amazing 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I say Pacific? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January the 11th. All right, on January the 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. We're all going. We're all going in 2023. We're all going to be fully funded in 2023. I declare it. If you guys are in agreement with me. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nicola. Thank you. Y'all know these time zones, honey, got me all twisted. So all of you that say, Jen, I want to be fully funded in 2023, then you guys don't want to miss out on any part of what I'm going to be sharing in this training coming up. Okay. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what to do and how to do it. The process, my process of how I raise money for thousands of organizations. And I want to show you how to do it with your organization. All right. I will see you all. I'm going to stop again tomorrow. And then I'm going to be getting ready for the 11th. All right. So sign up. It's free. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 11th. But until then, listen back to this replay, get all the nuggets out of it. Okay. Any questions that you might have, write them down. I'll be back tomorrow about this time tomorrow. And I'm happy to answer any questions here, but on the 11th is where you guys really want to jump in, because I'm going to be talking about the meat, the bones, the potatoes, the gravy, the bread, and the dessert of the process. Okay. I'm excited. I'll see you guys later. Have an amazing day and happy 2023, the year of implementation, the year of execution, the year of working a winning process. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.